Hey there, and welcome to English for Everyone. My name's Lisa.
And my name's Kevin.
Today we're going to do part 2 of the dialogue A Scary Night. You're going to learn some new words, and we're also going to talk about American pronunciation. Let's get started. So Kevin is going to ask me some questions about part 1 to recap what happened. Let's get started.
Did Sophia get home late?
Yes, she got home late.
And did she have trouble finding a parking spot?
Yes, she had trouble finding a parking spot.
And did she notice 2 guys following her?
Yes, she noticed 2 guys following her.
So what did she do?
She crossed the street, hoping that they would stay on their side of the street.
And did they?
No, they didn't. They crossed the street to follow her.
So what did she do? Did she start running?
Yes, she started running as fast as she could.
And did they get her?
No, luckily she got away.
That's a relief. So let's practice with part 2 of the dialogue.
I think they were muggers, but luckily I got away. It could have been much worse.
You were lucky. You should probably try to walk with a companion if possible.
I guess you're right. It's just that if I'm coming home from work, I don't have anyone to walk with.
Well, you should always be aware of your surroundings. And maybe you should buy some pepper spray, just in case.
Kevin, what does the word mugger mean?
A mugger is a person who robs you in the street, usually with a gun or a knife. That's a mugger.
What about the verb mug?
Mug is also a verb. That's what they do. They mug you. The mugger mugs you.
What is the man doing?
He's mugging the woman. The mugger is mugging the woman.
Is he a mugger?
That's right. He's a mugger.
Was she mugged?
That's right. She was mugged. Let's practice. Is he a mugger?
Yes, he's a mugger.
And what is he doing?
He's mugging the lady.
Let's practice. What is he?
He's a mugger.
That's right. What is he? That's right. He's a mugger. And what is he doing?
He's mugging the lady.
Is he mugging the lady? Was she mugged?
Yes, she was mugged.
Was she mugged? That's right, she was mugged. Now let's talk about could to express a future possibility.
Kevin, what are we going to do this weekend?
We could do a lot of things. We could go out for dinner, we could go to the movies, or we could go to the park. These are all future possibilities. We use could plus a simple verb.
And what about past?
Well, if we talk about the past, we have to use have. Could have plus a participle.
So last weekend, we didn't go anywhere.
That's right, we didn't go anywhere.
But
we could have done a lot of things. We could have gone out for dinner, we could have gone to the movies, or we could have gone to the park.
We could have done many things, but we didn't do anything. We stayed home.
That's right. That's a possibility in the past, something that didn't happen.
Kevin, what happened? Did he fall off the bike?
That's right. He fell off the bike.
Did he break his arm?
No, he didn't break his arm. He got lucky.
It could have been worse. He could have broken his arm.
That's right. It could have been much worse. Could have, contraction, could have, could have. It could have been much worse. He could have broken his arm.
But he didn't.
That's right. He got lucky. Let's practice. Did he fall off his bike?
Yes, he fell off his bike.
Did he fall off his bike? That's right, he fell off his bike. Could it have been worse?
Yes, it could have been worse.
Could it have been worse? That's right, it could have been much worse. Could he have broken his arm?
Yeah, he could have broken his arm.
Could he have broken his arm? That's right, he could have broken his arm.
But he didn't.
That's right, he got lucky. And one more thing about pronunciation. Sometimes you'll hear coulda. People will not pronounce the v sound at the end, could've. They just say coulda. This happens only before a consonant. He could have broken his arm, or he could have broken his arm. People say both. Our next vocabulary is to be aware of.
What does it mean?
To be aware of means to be conscious of something, to know that something exists. Example, I am aware of the laws. I know they exist. I'm aware of them. Example, the seatbelt law. There's a law that says you have to wear your seatbelt. And I know this law exists, so I can say I'm aware of this law. Are you aware of the seatbelt law?
Yeah, I'm aware of this law. I know it exists.
Are you aware of this law? Very good. Another example, you should always be aware of your surroundings.
What are surroundings?
Surroundings are what is around you. Everything around you, that's your surroundings. So you should always be aware of your surroundings. You should always know what is around you, especially when you're walking in a big city, because it's dangerous. Let's practice. Should you always be aware of your surroundings?
Yes, you should always be aware of your surroundings.
Should you always be aware of your surroundings? That's right, you should always be aware of your surroundings. It's important. Now let's practice speaking. Was she mugged?
No, luckily she wasn't mugged.
Was she mugged? That's right, luckily she wasn't mugged. Do you think it could have been worse?
Yes, I think it could have been worse.
What do you think? Do you think it could have been worse? That's right, I think it could have been much worse. So what do you think could have happened?
They could have mugged her. They could have killed her, but they didn't.
What do you think could have happened? That's right, they could have mugged her, or they could have killed her.
But they didn't.
That's right, luckily they didn't. She's fine. Let's practice. Did she notice the guys following her?
Yes, she noticed the guys following her.
Did she notice the guys following her? That's right, she noticed the guys following her. Was she aware of her surroundings?
Yes, she was aware of her surroundings.
Was she aware of her surroundings? That's right, she was aware of her surroundings. Let's listen to the dialogue one more time.
I think they were muggers, but luckily I got away. It could have been much worse.
You were lucky. You should probably try to walk with a companion if possible.
I guess you're right. It's just that if I'm coming home from work, I don't have anyone to walk with.
Well, you should always be aware of your surroundings, and maybe you should buy some pepper spray, just in case. Now let's practice American pronunciation. First, I'll explain the pronunciation, then I'll say the line, then Lisa will say the line, and then you will say the line. So let's get started. First, Sophia says, I think they were muggers, but luckily I got away. The T in but is a stop T. Stop the air, but luckily, and link it to the next word. But luckily I got away. Luckily, pronunciation. Not luckily, but lucka. Use a closed sound. Luckily. Luckily I got away. The T in got is a fast T because it's between vowels. I got away. Again, I think they were muggers, but luckily I got away.
I think they were muggers, but luckily I got away.
The next line, Sophia says, it could have been much worse. The T in it is a stop T. Stop the air. It could. Link it to the next word. It could have been much worse. Could have been. It could have been much worse. Pronunciation, been. Use the short is sound like this is. Not been, but been. It could have been much worse.
It could have been much worse.
Then Jack says, you were lucky. You should probably try to walk with a companion if possible. You were lucky. You should probably. The D in should is a stop D. Don't release the D. Not you should, but you should probably. You should probably try to walk with a companion if possible. Try to walk. The TR makes a ch sound like chicken, plus the R, try. Try to. To is pronounced duh. A fast D. Try to walk with a companion if possible. Again, you were lucky. You should probably try to walk with a companion if possible.
You were lucky. You should probably try to walk with a companion if possible.
Then Sophia says, I guess you're right. With the S in guess and the Y in your, when you link them, we have two pronunciations. You can say, I guess you're right, or I guess you're right. You can use the sh sound like in shoes. I guess you're right, or I guess you're right. The T in right is a stop T. It's at the end of the word. Right. Not right, but right. I guess you're right.
I guess you're right.
And the next line, it's just that if I'm coming home from work, I don't have anyone to walk with. It's just that. It's just that. The T in just is a stop T, but you don't really hear it because it's between consonants. It's just that. The T in that is a fast D. That if. It's just that if. It's just that if I'm coming home from work. It's just that if I'm coming home from work. Link the sounds. Coming home. Coming home. Not coming. There's no G sound. Coming home. It's just that if I'm coming home from work, I don't have anyone to walk with. I don't have anyone to walk with. The T in don't is a stop T. I don't. The tongue goes up, but you don't release it. I don't have anyone to walk with. Anyone to walk with. To is pronounced t because it's not stressed. Anyone to walk with. I don't have anyone to walk with. Now complete. It's just that if I'm coming home from work, I don't have anyone to walk with.
It's just that if I'm coming home from work, I don't have anyone to walk with.
And then Jack says, well, you should always be aware of your surroundings. You should always. The D in should is a fast D. It's between vowels. You should always. You should always. Well, you should always be aware of your surroundings.
Well, you should always be aware of your surroundings.
And Jack continues, and maybe you should buy some pepper spray, just in case. We hear the word and, not pronounced and, but pronounced n, and maybe. And maybe you should buy some pepper spray. The D in should is a stop D, because it's before a consonant. You should buy. Not you should, but you should buy. Link the sounds. And maybe you should buy some pepper spray, just in case.
And maybe you should buy some pepper spray, just in case.
Very good.
Thank you for watching.
And if you like this video, subscribe to our channel. And if you want to become a member, click the join button. And we'll see you next time.
Bye.